Right guys, what is going on? Match reaction. Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 3. What a night of Champions League football. An absolute classic Tuesday night of football. I mean, both games were absolutely brilliant. If you didn't watch the watch along, we watched both games for the first time ever. That's the first time I've done it, but I thought I had to. There's no way I'm missing both of these games, and both games did not disappoint. I mean, it was enthralling, it was erratic, it was frantic, and to be honest, it was just a joy to watch these teams play tonight. We knew we were going to be in for a classic night, but I don't think many expected that it will be this good. Both teams getting draws. But yeah, let's just get right into it. I'm going to start off with the Arsenal v Bayern Munich game, 2-2 at the Emirates. Listen, I think Bayern Munich will take that result 100%. To be honest, I think Bayern are now the favourites to go through. I think if you would have said to Thomas Tuchel before this game, he would have taken a draw 100%. Obviously, he would have taken a win, but Arsenal are a very good team nowadays. A win was always going to be hard. So I think Tuchel will take a draw. Considering how bad Bayern Munich have been this season, I just can't see Arsenal winning at the Allianz. It's something about the Allianz and Arsenal. It's not a good stadium for them. They get battered, every time they go there. And I just think Bayern are the favourites to go through now to the Champions League semi-finals. Listen, Arsenal can do it. They can do it. But I think Bayern today weren't at the best. And they still scored 2 goals by Munich. Then, if Bayern Munich just up their level by 10%, 20%, they'll beat Arsenal comfortably, in my opinion. But I think that this shows how far Arsenal have come, because if you remember the Arsene Wenger days, Arsenal lost to Bayern Munich on aggregate 10-2. Both games were 5-1. So this shows progression for Arsenal. But they were the better team tonight, Arsenal, and I think Arteta will be mightily disappointed that his team didn't get the win, because they were the better team. Arsenal, they had more possession than Bayern. I think they had more shots than Bayern, and they just couldn't really create that many chances. It was all very tight for Arsenal tonight, and I think Bayern did a good job, making the likes of Odegaard not get much time on the ball. Very rarely Odegaard had more than 5-10 seconds on the ball. The Bayern Munich players were at him, which was what Bayern needed to do, because Odegaard is the Arsenal talisman. But let's talk about the goals. Arsenal dream start, 12 minutes in, Bukayo Saka finally scoring a goal in a big game. People will probably call him world class now for doing that. But it's a really good goal by Bukayo Saka. He bends it into the far left corner on his left foot. It's a typical Bukayo Saka finish. It's a bit like Bayern legend Ian Robben. You see him do this many times for Bayern back in the day, and it's a wonderful finish by Bukayo Saka. Neuer's got you nowhere near it. Manuel Neuer, it's past him like that. I think it's probably a little bit unsighted, Manuel Neuer, to be fair, but a dream start for Arsenal. 12 minutes, the Emirates is absolutely rocking. But then 6 minutes later, it was 1-1, and this will annoy Arteta, because not only the goal, because the goal was poor, which we'll get to in a second, but to go 1-0 up, the energy's with you, the crowd's with you now, you've scored, go and push on, then you concede 6 minutes later. It's a killer. It's an absolute killer. And the goal's a mess. Bayern punched up a long ball. Bayern were trying these long balls all game, to be fair, and they weren't working. Well, this one did work, and it's a mistake by Gabriel. He plays a blind pass to Kivior. He can't control it. He tries to stretch for it. Kivior can't get it, and Bayern pick it up. I can't remember who picks it up. I think, is it Sane? Sane then plays an absolutely lovely ball in stride to Leon Goretzka. It's a worldy pass by Sane, it really is. I don't think that pass will get talked about, but it's an absolute world-class pass. You expect like a De Bruyne, a Modric to make that pass, not Leroy Sane. That's how good it was. Into Goretzka in stride. He then just knocks it on to Serge Gnabry, and Serge Gnabry coming back to haunt his former club Arsenal for 1-1. And then, 14 minutes later, in the 32nd minute, Harry Kane comes back to North London and haunts Arsenal. So 2 players haunting Arsenal. Harry Kane from the penalty spot. I mean, Saliba, apparently the best centre-back in the world. It's rash by Saliba. I don't know what he's doing. You wouldn't see Van Dijk, Ruben Diaz making that error. And, maybe it's a lack of experience for Saliba. I don't know, but it's a wonder run by Leroy Sane. He just picks it up, Sane, and he just goes at the Arsenal defence, weaving in and out, and he gets fouled in the box by Saliba. Clear penalty. I mean, it's a clear as day penalty, and Harry Kane nonchalantly slots it past Raya. Raya literally seems to move before Kane's moved. It was weird. It looked so funny on the replay. And Kane just knocks it to the right. Raya's dive left, and it's 2-1 to Bayern Munich, just like that. Out of nowhere, Bayern are winning. And then, Arsenal were banging on the door. Not that hard, but they were banging on the door. They were the more progressive side in that second half, and finally they got the goal in the 78th minute. Leandro Trossard with the equaliser for 2-2. Brilliant by Jesus. This goal is all on Jesus. Lovely fake shot in the box. Sends a Bayern player on his backside, and he just rolls it to Leandro Trossard, who's got the easy bits just to, glance it into the far left corner for 2-2, and, that's how it finished. Bayern hit the post. In the 90th minute, Kingsley Coman hit the post for Bayern. That would have been an absolute killer blow for Arsenal if that went in. Thankfully for them, it didn't go in. But yeah, that's how it finished, 2-2. Bayern Munich will be very, very happy with that result. Arsenal, on the other hand, will not be. I think Bayern are probably through to the semi-finals, to be honest. I just can't see Arsenal winning at the Allianz. I can't. But moving on to the next game, we're going to Madrid. Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 3. What an outrageous game of football this was. Absolutely mental. Mental game of football. 3-3, 6 goals. 3 absolute worldies of quality goals. And this is evenly poised for the Etihad next week. Again, though, I think Man City are through. I think Man City will happily take a draw. And, this is Manchester City without their best player, Kevin De Bruyne, on the pitch. People are going to forget that. City managed to draw at the Bernabeu without De Bruyne. And De Bruyne's going to be back next week. Kyle Walker might be back next week. That's why I think City are big favourites for next week. But City stun the Bernabeu. Silence the Bernabeu inside 2 minutes. Bernardo Silva with a free kick. And it's one of them where, he's very far out, Bernardo Silva. But he shoots low. And Lunin doesn't expect it. I think Lunin should save it, to be fair. He gets a big, big hand on it. And he can't keep it out, Lunin. He should be saving it. It's poor keeping, in my opinion. But then 10 minutes later, an own goal by Ruben Diaz. It's unfortunate, this one, for Diaz. To be fair, Diaz, he can't do anything about it. To be fair, I don't know why it's gone down as a Diaz own goal. I'm pretty sure it was on target by Camavinga, but it mustn't have been. Carvajal gives it to Camavinga. Camavinga drives with it, and it's just a shot by Camavinga. It's just a pop shot. Takes a deflection off Diaz, and Ortega. He's already moved one way, can't move back the other quick enough, and it goes in the back of the net. And then City couldn't really compose themselves. The Madrid crowd were up, and 2 minutes later it was 2-1 to Real Madrid. Rodrigo scores against City again. He seems to love scoring against Man City, Rodrigo. But yeah, they caught them on the high line. Real Madrid, Vinicius flicks it around the corner to Rodrigo. City play the high line. Akanji can't keep up with Rodrigo. I think if Kyle Walker's playing, this doesn't go in. Akanji can't keep up, and Rodrigo. I mean, Akanji gets close to Rodrigo. You know, it does deflect off Akanji, in all fairness, but he doesn't have the pace to get in front of him or to tackle him. And, you know, it goes past Ortega and it's 2-1 to Real Madrid out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, it's 2-1 to Madrid. And, you know, chances were at both ends of the pitch, but then in the second half, Real Madrid kind of surrendered, in my opinion. Real Madrid in this second half, they went a lot more defensive, which, you know, was understandable. You know, they are winning. I think they probably were a bit tired, to be honest. I don't know why they were tired. They didn't play last weekend. But they looked a bit laggy, and they conceded possession to Man City and, you know, conceded the control of the play. And, you know, Manchester City are so used to playing teams that do that, and they usually score, and they did score twice. First one coming Phil Foden, 66th minute, an absolute bullet by Phil Foden. You know, I said in the watch along, he is Man City's most informed player, and, you know, with De Bruyne not playing, you've got to get the ball to him, and they did. He found a lot of space, rifled it on his left foot, top left corner. You know, you're going to have 2 keepers, 3 keepers, 4 keepers. They're not saving that by Foden. It's an absolute rocket of a hit by Phil Foden, and it's 2-2. Then 5 minutes later, it's another worldie for Man City. Gvardiol, a defender, who I'm pretty sure is left-footed, but he scored this with his right foot. You know, I think Gvardiol's left-footed, but he scores an absolute rocket on his right foot. Grealish has it on the wing. He knocks it back to Gvardiol, and it's all about the first touch. It's all about the first touch here by Gvardiol. He sets it out, Gvardiol with the touch, and he just curls it into the bottom right corner. Beautiful finish. No chance for Lunin again. Bless him. You know, he conceded 2 worldies. First goal he should have done better though, to be fair. And Gvardiol puts City 3-2 up. A brilliant goal. 2 brilliant goals for City. But then 8 minutes later, Real Madrid come back once again. And it's another worldie. Valverde this time on the volley. Vinny picks him out. You know, he's in the box, but it's a little bit to the edge of the box, and he just rifles it on the volley. Valverde back where it once came from the cross by Vinny. Ortega can't. You know, Ortega just doesn't move. He just stops and watches it go in. Such a cleanly hit volley by Valverde, and it finishes 3-3. I think one thing I will say though about that Man City Madrid game is Erling Haaland. Again, just another terrible performance by Haaland. I mean, Rudiger had him in his pocket, and, you know, terrible performance by Haaland. But there's no doubt he'll probably score next week and silence everybody. But, yeah, 2 absolutely unbelievable games of football. You know, we have just been privileged to watch. Cannot wait for next week in the second leg. They can't come quick enough. But I think the favourites for the semi-finals are Manchester City and Bayern Munich. Because I just see them winning at home. I can't see Madrid winning at the Etihad, and I can't see Arsenal winning in Munich. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know who you think is going to get to the semi-finals in the comments, and let me know the scores as well, what you think the games will be next week. But yeah, guys, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you later.